Goodness to you, it's Sporty King. And you know, I always say goodness. Why? Because I don't know whether you're watching morning, afternoon, or evening. But isn't it great to have good in front of your salutation? Welcome to Truth Thursday. Oops, there we go. There we go. There we go. Welcome to Truth Thursday, where we recognize that tests are rarely understood until their testimonies heal them. Now, in creating this title, first I decided to go with the fact that, hey, the truth only needs half the letters from the word Thursday. Second, we've all heard that the truth shall set you free. Yeah, well, guess what? We also need to hear that freedom can be a tough choice because freedom is actually a result. You see, when you choose to be free, you may have to choose different surroundings. You see, my affirmation for free is FREE, facts, risk, empathy, and excellence. Like truth, you'll find it in my book, Affirmations. Now, an affirmation is an acronym that defines the word and brings it to life rather than just adding one word to each letter. So using just that affirmation of free, the fact that we bringing free to life, we see that true freedom is based on facts, not risk. I mean, not luck and not guesses. But just using that and risk, which is an affirmation within itself, RISK, recognition of success is key. We're reminded that once you know who you are, you have to also be ready to take a chance on being who you are. And we may not know how important it is to take that chance until we do. But I say that freedom is always worth the risk. So getting into what truth stands for, we'll continue to start by embracing that first word, and that is test. See, test is the root of testimony. You can't have the freedom, forecast, and fullness of a testimony without the test. Now, would you believe that in 2017 that I began my online broadcasting, and it was called Glue Wednesday? For those who missed it, Glue Wednesday, GLUE, stood for God's love undoes everything. And about the fact that not that God's love will tear things apart, but that things that have been torn apart, God's love will undo that hurt and pain. God's love will undo that hurt and pain. So glue and put it back together. Now, in 2023, I introduced what I call the GAIN series, which was the glue analogies in numbers. And I introduced it with the word, I called it words gain, okay? And I incorporated, okay, give me a second, which the GAIN series always had a new heading that incorporated the word gain. And so let me go back. That's why it was called the glue analogies in numbers. And I started with the gain of words gain, and I shared my affirmation, WORDS, what others remember and digest strengthens spirits. As we touched on the fact that you need to surround yourself with people whose words uplift your spirit so that the numbers work for you. This week, I'm bringing back humility gain. And I'll continue to share my process in creating the message, which can give you an idea of how to use it in other parts of your life to really make the numbers work for you. And in essence, I'm repeating the post that I did in 2023, but I want you to listen for how it is very 2025. See, when I first created this message, I asked for viewers to volunteer numbers the week prior to the broadcast. I would then create the message according to the numbers volunteered. Now, September 20th, 2023, the numbers were volunteered by Daphne Francis, who gave me 101, Cecilia Moat gave me 99, Geraldine Miles Fortson gave me 24, Jose Haas Valencia gave me 22, and Victor Morris gave me 11. My guiding scripture that day was Second Kings, and it is today, Second Kings 5 and 13. But his officers tried to reason with him and said, Sir, if the prophet had told you to do some great thing, wouldn't you have done it? So you should certainly obey him when he says simply to go and wash and be cured. And that is for my message today, which is who's on your side? Who's on your side? Now, if you're not familiar with the scene in that guiding scripture, Second Kings, Naaman is the commander of the king of Aram's army. Yet he has leprosy, which cut down on one's public or social life in those times. He was told about the prophet Elisha in Israel who could heal him. When he arrived in Israel and at Elisha's house as a Mr. Big Shot, Elisha merely sent the messenger out to him with this message: Go and wash yourself 7 times in the Jordan River. Then your skin will be restored and you will be healed of leprosy. But Naaman was pissed off that Elisha didn't come out himself and pay him special attention. He said, I thought he would surely come out to greet me and meet me. I expected him to wave his hand over the leprosy and call on the name of the Lord his God and heal me. So he turned and went away in a rage. The guiding scripture shows his officers talking some sense into him, pretty much about how important it was to stay in his lane and allow someone else to help by excelling in theirs. See that question at the bottom? Have you ever not wanted to listen to someone based on their age, education, race, sex, style, etc.? I know we're not on this as a live broadcast, but put in the thread some reasons why people choose not to listen to other people. There's no time limit. You can come back and do this. Well, as it turned out, later in the scripture, Naaman did listen to his voice and Elisha. And after dipping in the Jordan, he was cured of his leprosy. Now go back to the things you put in the thread and answer. Have you ever made a rash decision or got upset and your people were able to step back, give it a fresh pair of eyes, and then help you get back on track? So think about the things you put in the thread or you would have put in the thread, or maybe someone else put in the thread. Have you ever made a rash decision, or got upset, and your people that you surrounded yourself with were able to help you step back, give it a fresh pair of eyes, and get back on track? Okay, let's look at the process of putting today's message together, because that is the message: stepping back and putting people around yourself properly. Well, the first thing I did is kind of stare at the numbers that my co-authors gave me, see if there was anything instant or obvious that came to mind. I actually came up with the title of this broadcast and the guiding scripture after looking at their numbers and seeing that 101 and 99 surrounded 100, while 24 and 22 surrounded 23, making me ask the question, are you surrounded by people or surrounding yourself with people? Now, I did have a hard time choosing between this question and reworded it to, who are you surrounded by when you should be surrounding yourself with? And I like both titles. And then I added the number 11. Who are you straight up with? 1-1. Who are you straight up with? Now, you've heard me say before, choose your messengers carefully and realize that you're carefully being chosen as someone's messenger. Sometimes it's those things people post. Sometimes you get your message and your messengers from the things people post or write in the thread, and that impacts our choice in messenger. And that's what makes for our choice of the wording of that question. You see, and let's look at the question again. Who are you surrounded by when you should be surrounding yourself with? You're surrounded by when you should be surrounded with. It it offers you. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I got to keep going. Okay. Both of those questions offer a way of asking yourself if you're reactionary or proactive about the people that you spend time with. And I want you to choose to be proactive so that the person you're always straight up with is you and you're always on your side. Some will say that you're being judgmental or prideful. Here's additional commentary from my Bible. My Bible is called a Touchpoint Bible, and it gives modern day analogies, sometimes to scripture, along the way to help you understand it better. The scripture title for connection for this Second Kings was humility. And it said humility is not effacing oneself. It's not destroying your sense of self-worth. It's the honest recognition of our own worth, our worth as God sees us. You see, pride elevates us above others and often above God himself. But to destroy one's sense of self-worth is also unacceptable, for it denies the value God placed upon us when he created us in his image and when he sent his son to die for us. Christ did not die for worms, but for people he loves very much. And those people have great worth or value in God's eyes. To see ourselves as God sees us, that is our goal. That is humility. And the truth is, in 2025, we must still let that be a reminder not to just say what you want to surround you, not to just say that you want to surround yourself with good people, but to consciously and intentionally do it and not feel bad or judgmental. You see, we all start out naive and listening to everyone until we grow to figure out whose voice plays the tune that we really need. Our journey then becomes one where we must be conscious that we're being listened to, and our facts are not fantasies of life with no bumps or bruises. So we rewrite, recreate, and communicate with a healthy attitude about our life lessons that remind us that every word that comes out of our mouth has lasting meaning. Let it be God to whom you see at your palace gate. Let it be God whom you see at your palace gate, and your memories will become more meaningful. You'll see who's on your side. I got to tell you that one of my dear friends wrote this morning to me, please forgive my lack of cheer. Let me get back. Please forgive my lack. It's just a text conversation. Please forgive my lack of cheer. The Brown University murders, the slaughter in Bondi Beach, and the horrible slaying of Rob Reiner and his wife have made me cry all weekend. There was no time to come up for air because the next horror made itself known. I have a hard time wishing everyone a happy holiday with this hanging over all of our heads. And I responded, one, yep, things are messed up and getting worse. I don't stay in denial. Yet I stay in reduced cheer as short as possible. Make sure you don't let it wear you down by adding stress to pull you down because, two, we have to remember that there are good people around us. Sometimes we just have to look harder to see them. To which she responded, hey, normally I can deal with negative input, but this was all at once and loads of it. So sad. So thank you, because what I can do is wish you a healthy and pain-free holiday season. Just continue to share love because that really is all there is. You see, I was able to remind my friend that we were on one another's side. And so, as requested, I share love with you. The need to LOVE, let ourselves value everyone. You see, every person contributes to your life with their negative or positive spirit. You decide how long they're going to stay in your premium seats. Therefore, be on your side. Who's on your side? You, along with God. Be on your side. Again, I thank my co authors for their numbers, even these 2 years later, how those numbers and the message has stood up. Know that you have the right to gain and strengthen yourself by surrounding yourself with people whose words uplift your spirit so that the numbers work for you. And remember, freedom is a worthy result and even a risk. You have to know what you're doing and continue to be who you are when you join us on Truth Thursday, where we recognize that tests are rarely understood until their testimonies heal. Follow the QR code to my store where you can purchase any of my books, including Affirmations, my limited edition Life shirt, as well as sign up to receive my free monthly fun letter, The Golden Brick Road, and some other fun stuff to keep you connected to the truth. And that's the truth. I'm Sporty King. Have a wonderful, wonderful, happy third weekend in December. Over and out. Ciao. All right, getting on. Well, that's the deal here.